Hadn't went live. There we go. All right. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Inspirational Talks with Laura Simmons and friends. We are live. Now we live. All right, that's what it was. I see it now.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I must have didn't hit the live button. I thought I did and I didn't. I guess I didn't. Yeah, I see it now. Okay. Yeah, yeah, it's sad though, but it's true. It's so sad about all of you see all the different things happening around the world and stuff. And it's I was just telling some ladies today how crazy, well, a lot of times the sad part is a lot of times we the only one seem to think that it's we going, that we dealing with things and stuff in our communities and stuff. And a lot of these people don't admit to it what they're dealing with in their communities. Because yeah, when I was talking about it, one of the young ladies said, "Oh, I've never experienced that." Just like I was like, "Oh, okay, well that's good."
But even if you never experienced it, where's your empathy?
Yeah, yeah,
I mean, someone lost a child, and but you know what? But that's how people think,
yeah,
And even when it comes to me dealing with my condition,
hmm
you know, most people don't feel it's all important. They okay, yeah, 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 yeah. But
yeah,
soon as it happens to someone that they love or someone that they're close to, then
mm-hmm.
it's a whole different issue. Now they want you to listen. Now they want, not, can I talk to you? I need to find out, what do I do? But when someone else is wearing it, it's not important.
Yeah,
And it's just where there's no empathy in this world. It's just, if it's not affecting me,
yeah.
then I have no interest in it, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah, and that's exactly it. If it's not affecting them, it don't bother them. They don't. And that's what it was. That's basically how the person was saying it. Hey, Angelique, how are you? Thank you for tuning in. Yeah. And so also, now this is a good one though. This is a really good one here. Okay, so I was reading this article and it said teacher quits job for a better salary at Walmart.
Better salary or better
Uh,
safety.
she said better salary. He said better salary. He said he make more money at Walmart than he did at being a teacher. Now you know that's sad. You
Wow.
know that's sad when they teaching the kids and they're there to they protecting the kids now. And they have to protect them now too as well. You know.
Well, not only that, when you look at, and I have a few of my sisters are teachers, right? And when you look at all of that, and most teachers, they're dedicated. They want to educate. They want to better you know, the structure of the
Mhm.
children with their minds. But school now, and with the things that we're living in, or the times that we're living in, they're the mother, the nurturer,
Yeah.
you know, they become more than just an educator.
Mhm.
They're educating on all things. And then you have a heart, what can you do when a child is coming to school, when he has to get his own self up, he has to
Yeah.
feed himself, or no food,
Yeah.
walk to school by himself, or
Yeah.
you have to deal with all of those things, not even just dealing with it physically, but emotionally.
Yeah.
So a lot of the teachers, and if they're just there for a paycheck, you know, it is, and there's no dedication, that's hard.
Mhm.
A lot of people can go into a degree for a degree, but they're not committed to that trade. You know
No.
what I mean?
Mm.
So, but true teachers, they're there. They're nurturers, they're support, and
Yeah.
they have love, and And I say that with, I mean, I stress that more than I can ever say. I
Hmm.
don't care who you are.
Yep.
Every human being wants love and acceptance.
Yep. That
And
is
when you
so
don't
true.
get that, it's hard. So they come for that. But when he say the pay, he still has to live. But I wouldn't go as far as, our educators, they should be, you know,
Yeah.
they should be rewarded way more than what they
What
are.
they are. That's right. Because
So
they deal with a lot of stuff. I could recall being when I was a kid, and I used to see how some kids came to school, they were either dirty or they were hungry, and some of them
mhm,
teachers, they took money out of their own pocket to feed these kids,
yeah,
And
yeah.
and I remember my 8th grade teacher. I never forget it. It was my seventh. She was my 7th and 8th grade teacher. I remember one these young ladies, they were two sisters, and I
Mhm,
remember she went to the store and actually brought these young ladies some dresses, you
mhm,
know, and she
yeah,
didn't have to do that. Guess what? That's coming out of her pocket, but she did it anyway, you know
yeah,
and you're absolutely right. They some teachers go above and beyond for their students. Now
yeah,
you got some of them that's there just for a paycheck, and my thing is I do not want to work in nobody's job where I'm working just to get a check. I
yeah.
want and I said I always say this to people. I want to love what I do, you
Right,
know and
right.
one of the things that I love to do is I love to talk to people. I love to be around people.
Mhm,
I like to help people. I'm
yeah,
that person that I want to try and help as many people as I possibly can. And I think that's one of my downfalls because some people take that for a weakness because of your love for people, and I have this it's like I want to do so much for so many people and I always get those people that's just there to use me, hurt me in some kind of way. They're not there. They're not um giving it back to
supportive
right.
and
And
yeah,
yeah, and I've found myself where I'm supporting people, I do stuff for people, and then not that I do it because I'm expecting you to do something back for me, but I am expecting you to like kind of like, girl, I'm proud of you or something, just say something to me, to make me feel good, because I'm always trying to make others feel good. And that,
but
and
with that, those recognitions, that's you have to block that out.
hmm
Because you would want if you wanting someone to say something, it won't happen
right,
because you want that. When
right,
you do it and you're doing it from your heart
hmm
and you just do it, it's
hmm
almost like someone, okay, someone is down the street in this house. They
hmm
don't have anything to eat.
hmm
That they don't have any clothing. Their circumstances.
right,
But you go take everything, you sit it at the door, and they'll never know who did it.
right. That's
Right?
me. That's the
Right.
type of person I
So,
am, though.
then when you do that, it's
hmm
almost like prayer. You take it to the altar and you leave it there
hmm
because God will reward you. You never have to worry about anybody else giving you any kind of flowers, any kind of increments, or anything.
Right,
God will let them know later. But when you do it from your heart, leave it.
hmm
No one has to give you any recognition on anything.
right.
God
But it's
will,
not so
because
much
if
as
He put, but I understand what you're saying, but I'm only
right.
trying to tell you because if you want that, if you do that,
hmm
then that's going to be the things that's going to mess you up because you want that. it- just know that I did this. But the
hmm
main person who knows that you did it is the main person that's going to bring you through and them through as well. So when you do it as if I don't know you from Adam. You ain't never got to say anything to me
Right,
because what you did, if it's from the heart, God will reward you more than you can ever get a thank you or any kind of recognition from anybody.
yeah, you're
So
right.
when you do it, don't worry about nobody saying, girl, you did. Mm-mm. Just do it and let it be done.
Yeah.
So,
That's true. And it's not so much, and that's the thing. It's not so much as I'm looking for you to say nothing, but what I'm saying is just a little support, like when those times when I just need somebody to say, girl, you can do this. I'm not saying I'm looking for you to like give me
mhm,
anything or anything like that, but I'm just saying that
mhm.
backup support, that
You want
support
the
that's to say,
support. You want that
yeah,
support.
support.
But a
Right.
person can give you what they don't have.
Right.
And
Yeah, I
even
get
though and even if they're in your circle or around you, they can't give you what they don't have.
yeah. Yeah, that's true.
And you can't pull it out of them because if they don't have it, how they going to give it?
Yeah.
What's in them will come out. And if that's what if you, I'm telling you, when you get at that point, you will get it, but
Mhm.
someone can't give you something that they don't have.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But yeah, yeah, it's yeah. I get what you're saying though. I do get it.
Yeah. So when you do it, just do it and and leave it and go on as if you didn't even do anything. Because God led you, if God led you to do that, do it, you know, and just go on about your way. Because if that was a way to bless them, do it and keep it moving.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. Yeah. But how was your day today? How was your day?
Oh my God, I am so tired to be honest. I mean, it was I happened to just wake up. I had a phone call that woke me up.
Hmm.
And then when you said that, I was like, say what? Do who? Say what? I'm like, oh, F to the G. I'm like, ugh. But I've been pulling a lot of 12s and so and
Yeah.
just so happened I don't have to go in. I would normally have to get up at 12.
Oh,
So
really?
I don't have to get up to 4. So I'm good
Oh,
today.
okay.
So yeah, I was gonna stay over, which I would have been just coming in the door actually. So
Hmm. Good
I'm
evening.
but he gives me my health, my strength,
Yeah.
sanity, and he graces me to be able to go to work and still have a job. So
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
grateful.
Yeah.
Um, all my limbs is working. And
Hmm.
I don't want to say my mind works sometime because I don't want to put that out there, but the cobwebs, they try to stick a little bit, have to shake them, and then I could think a little bit. But other than that, I'm grateful. I'm blessed, and I'm pulling each day that He allows me to wake up and keep it moving. Just keep it moving. But
Yeah.
I thank you for this opportunity. I hope I don't, I hope I fill in filling in these shoes. So I'm hoping that I do a good job, my due
Oh, you
diligence to
did.
make sure that I stand in good stead. So
Yeah, you do. You are. You are. Yeah. Yeah. So my regular co-host, but that's the reason why it's called Inspirational Talks with Laura Simmons and Friends, because that way I could just have any friends come on the show. So you're
okay.
like my sister anyway. So you know.
I appreciate that, and
Yeah.
I do. I consider you all to be family. I really do.
Yeah.
And that, not to get on the old mushy side or anything, but you know, you never know how God works,
Mm-mm.
you know, and He
Yeah.
works so mysteriously, and sometimes we can take so many things for granted.
Oh yeah.
But it's an honor, Who knew that I was going to meet all of you when we went to Atlanta, you
Exactly.
know?
Yeah.
And then from there, look how sisterhoods have bonded.
Yeah.
And that's because of one individual.
Yeah.
And I say this, and I've told him this so many, I can't say it enough. You know, I thank him for adhering to the voice of God to
Yeah.
do that
Yeah.
because even though he came on and he started, just doing his music.
Yeah.
But then even with that, with the Ubuntu,
Yeah.
and I am because we are.
Are. That's
And
right.
then our motivational, and I miss that motivational Mondays. Each
Yes.
day we had something, but
Mhm.
we had a space that even he came through and was being just him,
Yeah.
not what society would think you should be,
Mhm.
you
Yep.
know? And
Yep.
then for all of them to accept me, at that time, I wasn't still struggling, but when you start to look at other people
Mhm.
and you take the sight off, of where God have brought you from, and then you start to look. It's almost like Adam and Eve, I bit the
Mhm.
apple and now I see everybody else and, oh, look at me. Oh, there I go. Oh, you know. But I'm
Mhm.
looking at all of these beautiful people
Mhm.
and I started to, you know, question, oh my God, they're going to see my flaws and they're going to talk about me. Oh my God. And I never forget the first time that I was talking to him and he was like, oh man, I know what you got. And I
Mhm.
was just like, all of those things, and God had brought me out of all of that, right?
Mhm.
And it can be so funny how the enemy can come in and captivate you just within a snap of a
Snap
finger
a
to try
finger.
to pull you back in,
Yep.
you know?
Yep.
And I was like, I'm looking at all of these beautiful women that's
Mhm.
on this page, and I'm
Yep.
like, oh my God, they're going to talk about me. They're going to see me. I don't size up. I can't show them a real picture of who
Mhm.
I am. And that, just that, and it brought back, and God brought back, where did I bring you from?
Yep. Yep.
How? It took me 10 years to get to that place.
Mhm.
But for everyone in there to accept me for who I am.
Mhm.
And that was my deliverance for who I am and not what I look like, you
Yep.
know?
And
And so,
it's so
mhm,
funny you said that, Michelle, because I'm gonna tell you something. So for these last since COVID has happened in these last
mm,
3 months, I've been struggling
mm,
because my skin broke out really bad from those masks, wearing those
okay.
masks. So
Mhm,
I found myself hiding myself because I was so worried about what people was gonna say. So I finally just one day I went walking with my friend. We started doing these walks every morning. We walk every morning. And
mhm,
I finally took the mask off again because I was like, you know what? Maybe that's what's causing the breakout. My daughter said, "Yeah, mom, it's the mask that's causing you to break out." Because she said, "You never had nothing in your face." And I was hiding behind the mask because it had broke my skin out so badly. And so I can understand where you're coming from because you
mhm,
start feeling like insecure. It's like
mhm,
it's I mean, and that's how I was feeling. I was feeling so insecure, and it's like, okay, yeah, I don't want people to see, how I broke out really bad or whatever the
mhm,
case may be.
mhm.
But the spirit just told me, said, no, let people see, let them see what you're going through. So
Right.
these last month, these last few months, I have actually been through some stuff, and nobody would never know it though. You looking at me, you wouldn't think that. Oh yeah,
But you
you
know
going
what,
through
though?
something?
But you know what?
Mm-hmm.
Only until you speak it is when you find out it's 55,000 more that's
No,
going through the same thing.
exactly.
You
Yep.
you understand?
Yep.
And see, that's how the enemy captivates our mind.
Yep.
Don't say nothing. Almost as if we're the victim, right?
Yep. Yep.
Don't say nothing because now they're gonna think you weak. If you say something, oh no, don't, just be quiet. And then you deal with all of that within yourself. You know, you're dealing, and then thoughts, all of these things just captivate your mind. And the one reason you broke out because you're suffocating your skin wasn't
Yep.
breathing.
Yep. And didn't
You
realize
need
it.
air, you
Yep.
know? So it's just everyone. There isn't one person on this earth that doesn't have a flaw,
Yep. And I
that
had to
doesn't have
learn that.
something wrong with you. We
Mm-hmm.
all, no
Yeah.
one is perfect.
Yep.
It's
And
only
that's
where you might see some more in others than you would. but everyone. And we are our worstest critic.
Critic. Yep. That is so true.
Can't nobody beat you up more than you.
Yep. That is
You
so true.
know? So we just have to,
Yep.
have to learn. But yeah, one of those things, if you keep wearing those masks and then
That's
the
what it do.
filter, you're not, we need air. And
Yep.
if you're suffocating yourself, so you're sweating inside of that, correct?
Yep.
So
And that,
then that's what's going to make you break out,
yep.
But I'm just, I'm just, this
And they
pandemic has been good and bad,
hmm
you
they
know.
hurt so bad when they would start coming out. They hurt so bad, and I said, I knew it's got to be something. It has something. My husband said the same thing. He said it's the mask that you're wearing. It's those masks. He said because you don't know where they're getting these masks from. You don't really know how they're creating them. So one day
Mhm.
we seen this video, and they had these masks on the floor. They were creating the mask, and they were on the floor. So I'm saying to myself, dang. And so I went and got a material mask because I figured, okay, that'll be better because then I can wash it.
Mhm.
But it's both. And my daughter said, no, ma, it's because you're smothering your skin. She said it's not meant for our skin to become. So she don't wear it. She won't wear a mask. She'll wear it like if she have to, but she
Yeah.
barely wear it. But her skin is beautiful. And
Yeah.
she was like, Mom, that's why. And she said, that's why you're breaking out because
Yeah.
your skin is not getting any
And
air.
and your skin is
But you're
already sensitive.
scared.
Yeah. But you know what? And like I told them, we do so many things, but God tell us,
Mhm.
if you going to pray, you got to trust him. And
Yeah.
if you're going to trust him, you got to believe that he will.
Yeah.
Fear. He doesn't believe in fear.
Hmm. I
So
did.
if we have him, we can't fear because he's our protector.
Yeah.
See, we can say a whole lot of things with our mouth, but our actions show everything,
Yeah.
right? So,
Hmm.
and I'm on here so everyone would know I never took one of the vaccinations. I never had a booster, nothing.
Hmm.
And from the time that the pandemic started, all the way up until last year,
Hmm.
I didn't get sick, but I always take, and God is my keeper and my
Yeah.
protector. And I'm not saying that he doesn't keep or protect anyone else,
Hmm.
but because of me, I take a lot of vitamins and I take
Hmm.
all my probiotics and things like that and my echinacea. So I keep my body built up anyway, even
Yeah.
before the pandemic.
Yeah.
But
Well, Michelle, I'm not gonna cut you
he
out.
knows.
I'm gonna cut you off, but I want to bring our guest on since
Yes,
he's here.
I'm
He
ready
made it
because I want
in.
to hear what he has to say, and that's talking about this pandemic. So come on with it.
Uh-huh. Well, we're bringing out uh, Mr. G Mims. Cool G Mims. That's what it is. Hey, how are you today? We can't hear you. Gotta cut your mic on.
Hello, how y'all doing? How you feeling?
Hi.
Good.
Thanks for having me. Sorry, we had some technical difficulties,
Oh, that's
but thanks for having me. It's a pleasure being on the platform. I see you ladies talking about some real vital information for the
yeah.
people and for our, health awareness and for our, abilities to protect ourselves for what we're dealing with in this world and what we'll probably continue to deal with
Yeah.
for the rest of
And
our lives.
yeah.
You know.
So tell the people who you are.
Oh well, my name is G MiMs. I'm a hip hop artist from Harlem, New York City.
Harlem in
Uh,
the building.
yes, I come from a real interesting hip hop heritage. So this is what I do. Making music is just what I love to do, and it's a part of my culture, and it's a part of my passion, and it's a part of what provides for my life and my kids' lives every day, as far as I'm concerned. And
Yeah.
feel free to check me out on any streaming platform, or my Instagram name is right there. So that's for anybody who wants to look into further details about me. But I'm on this platform today because I'm a part of a really dope record called Plandemic, and it speaks to the topics that you women are addressing on the stage today. Um, and it's real important to me for me to have been a part of it and to have linked up with my man Dr. Ford. And it's important to really leave some impactful messages that don't always go with what everyone else does. I'm not a vaccinated citizen either. Um, and I'm okay with people who are vaccinated. I feel like it's your choice and it's your life. But how we speak on what we're dealing with in these times is what will further protect those in the future as they do history on what went on during these days. You know what I mean? We got to put this information out to leave that legacy behind for those who will study this time. And I think it's important that we do things like this and have platforms where we speak and communicate with each other. And if technology allows us to do it like we're doing it now, this just kind of further spreads the word. So I'm just happy to be here. I know that was a long introduction, but yeah, I'm just happy to be here and to be a part of the message.
No, that's good. I appreciate you saying that. You know, yep, that is so good. So how old was you when you got started in the
Can you
business?
say it one more time? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I
Can you
can
hear
hear you.
me?
Yeah. Oh, he
Uh-oh.
lost him. We lost him, but he'll be back here, guys. I'm sure
Yeah.
he'll come back in. We'll just wait for him to come back in. But yeah, I mean, that's that is so true though. He is absolutely right. It's so important that we spread the knowledge,
Yeah.
what we learn and the different things that we see. It is so important for us to spread that. You back. Okay.
Yes, my bad. Got a
That's
phone call
okay.
that messed up my back.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
So at what age did you get started in the industry?
As a recording artist, I
Uh-huh.
mean, I'm gonna say like 2010,
Okay.
2011, 2010. But I've been in the industry all my life. You know what I mean? I'm
Oh,
kind of
okay.
like a hip hop kid for what they would call it. You know what I mean? I have family that I have family members that are very like important figures in a time in hip hop that has left a legacy. So I have some legendary family members that um, have always been an influence on me, and just I just have a music household, you know. So yeah, I've always been exposed to the industry, you know, that we call it. But I started really trying to become a professional at 2010, so about 12 years ago,
Oh, okay.
maybe a little more, give or take. I was writing rhymes since I was in like sixth grade, and I was writing rhymes since like junior high school.
Yeah. You remind me of my son. That's how he got started. He
Yeah,
started writing these little rhymes and stuff, and all of a sudden, next thing I know, he was out there. He out there doing his thing.
that's what's up. I mean, I encourage him to chase his dream. I mean, if that's what fills his joy, you know, he's not going no day unlived. You know, what I mean,
Yeah.
he's living his life the way he
Like.
wants to. You know, you can't get those days back. And it's, I
Mm-hmm.
think one thing that the the pandemic that we went through, it was so hard for me not to call it a pandemic. I had to think of what else it was called. But but I mean, the pandemic that we went through, um, you know, a lot of that had me concerned, you know, about living, like, you know what I mean, like really living for the day, you know, living our days out, you know what I mean. I asked somebody, is it something about like, is it worth it to kind of like hide in the house? You can hide in the house every day, every day, every day, just to come outside one day and die from a tragic accident.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
what is it worth? Was it worth to hide in all of those days? Like, I could have lived those days out. You know what I mean? And I hated the captivity that the pandemic created.
Oh
You know
yeah.
what I mean? It allowed some of us to grow and think and learn to love one another. And there were some, you know, but we as people are just great at finding especially Black people, we're great at finding the positive in anything.
Yep. You
You know what I mean?
absolutely
So
right.
yeah, we'll find some positivity in all of it, but
Hmm.
really that captivity, with that level of captivity for so long was strange to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
you
it
know, all of
was.
it goes into play.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
but yeah, I just kind of, I don't want to. This is a tough time and a sensitive time for people, and I don't like to kind of take too much of a stance on anything and not having all the information on it. But
Hmm.
I particularly agree with the notion that, you know, there's a lot of natural remedies already available to us on this earth to keep us healthy and strong and prepared for any of
Hmm.
these um, types of diseases that are kind of marketed and manipulated towards
Hmm.
us, panicking into like fearful
Mhm, mhm,
resources, you know what I
mhm,
mean, and killing ourselves
mhm.
and or shortening our lives, like our lifespans. You know what I mean? Like, could you imagine how many things that we've been like promoted to put in our body that is harmful to our lifespan? You know what I mean? We're not really even reaching our full potential as human beings because
Hmm.
of the systems that be. You know what I mean? And for the way that we were.
Yeah. Your screen
Hello?
froze.
Do you hear
Yeah.
me?
Yeah, I hear
Tell
you.
me you hear me. You hear me?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I hear
yeah.
you.
Yes, good. But I can't hear you.
You can't? Can you hear me, Michelle? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Excuse me.
Oh, okay. Can you hear me now? Oh, cut your 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 mic is on mute.
Hello?
Yeah. Can
You
you
hear
hear
me?
us? Yeah.
I still don't hear you.
Uh-oh.
Oh, we lost him again. But yeah, that makes a lot of sense though. That's true what he was saying. You do feel like the pandemic stole something from us.
Well, I
Yeah.
think it not only that, it captivated and it messed with a lot of minds, you
Yeah.
know? And that's one way that they get people in fear. Because if
Hmm.
they start showing you how fast people are dying, then what's the first thing that when you're in fear, you're going to run to something that you think that's going to save you.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And a lot of those things that they were running to, and see, you this is my input. You want to give everyone the same thing, but you don't know a lot of these people have underlying conditions. No one took into consideration to check each individual out. And for my thing, if you're taking this shot and if it's supposed to be an adjective to go to your body to let you know that if you have COVID, it's supposed to go to a part of your body to make sure that it can knock out whatever's bad, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
But if they didn't know that you had underlying conditions, once you took that, that's going to go to that bad part because
Yeah.
it's going to think that it's something that it needs to get rid of.
Right.
So some of that, people were taking these shots and didn't realize later that they had underlying conditions that was pushing them to, everybody was just panicking.
Yeah.
And
So
they didn't know what they were doing either. They're just shooting you up with stuff. Can't just,
yeah.
it's just, it was crazy. It's just crazy.
Yeah. So
And
cool
I like
G.
his
Let's
term,
yeah. Yeah.
pandemic. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Nice.
cool G. So
Yes.
what do you actually think about what's happening in the world with a lot of the young people? I was just telling Michelle that another 6-year old girl, a 13-year-old young lady in South Carolina got shot up last night. Um, just senseless. I mean, it's senseless crime. All these senseless crimes that are happening in the streets today. What do you think? What do you think that?
You, I mean, I'm from uptown. I'm from Harlem. I just lost my friend a week and a half ago. I
Yeah,
saw him. Um, I saw him before a basketball game. By the time I got to the studio after I left the basketball game, my Citizens app went off. And I tell you, it's a real dangerous time, and I don't know if, you know, sometimes I ask myself, is it is it happening more, or is it just that the information spreads faster? You know what I mean? Like what I've
Mm.
known, what I've heard about that little girl that you're talking about. Um, let's say, take away from the news. You know what I mean? What I've learned about people passing away so fast. If I didn't have social media and all of these different outlets to new information
Mm-hmm.
so soon. You know, I remember the tail end of a time where somebody something a shooting or somebody was shot or something like that, you find out like maybe days later or 2 weeks later and be like, oh, word, I didn't know that happened. You know, word wouldn't, unless you was in the immediate community, it didn't spread that fast. Now, you stay on your phone for a couple hours and you're guaranteed to find out a couple people
Everything.
died
Mm-hmm.
tragically or was murdered or something. So I'm still in a balance in a my mentally I'm still in a space where I'm asking myself, is it more, is it getting worse, or is it just the information being marketed to me more? You know what I mean? Is that being told
Just
to
the
me
information.
more? You know what I mean? It's sad, all of it. It never feels good. You know what I mean? No one no, well, whether I've seen a human being deserve it or not, it never feels good to see someone get shot
No.
down or killed. You know what I mean? It never feels
Mm-hmm.
good for me. So um I I do understand it's a part of the life structure. It
Hmm.
probably happens in all forms of lives, probably less, unless like when I talk about plants or something. But every form of life has a form of like having
Yeah.
to. So there's an area where it's expected, but I hate to see it. I hate to see like people get gunned down. It just feels like it never feels like when a person gets shot, it was really their time to go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It never feels like that was a natural way of them leaving.
Okay.
So it all sucks to me. You know what I mean? It's just a real weird time, and I don't know if it's like I said, if it's the information or if it's the actual activity that's going in the wrong direction. You know, like you
Hmm.
said, like I think just as much as I think fear was painted in the pandemic, I think fear is promoted to us in many ways. You
Yeah.
know, so me being cognizant of that, I have to kind of, I don't want to practice any like dissidence, like cognitive dissonance. Like I'm aware of that fear is being promoted, so I gotta
Mm-hmm.
kind of gauge how I get the information. So, it's very tragic, and I've just lost so much, and it's my phone keep ringing. Call me. I'm so sorry.
Oh, his phone went out again. Well, I want to say hello to everybody that just tuned in. Um, we are talking with um, Cool G Mim.
I apologize. My phone
That's
was
fine.
going crazy.
So tell the people a little bit about your music.
Well, I mean, other than the pandemic, which is doing really well, we've been on a lot of the. Well, first of all, the pandemic is one of the singles that I have out. It's a music video out now. For those of you who haven't heard it or watched it, you can look it up on YouTube. It's available on all streaming platforms as well. And I've been kind of like been on a lot of platforms, virtual platforms. I did this dope um, presentation with mass consciousness, and I performed in front of like 14 different countries live stream, and it was pretty dope. Spoke with many doctors, and I had similar subs conversation of substance like I'm having with you two ladies, amongst a couple countries with different representatives of the medical field and of I'm sure many other fields. It was a lot. It was pretty dope. It was very well put together, and
Oh, okay.
that was a pretty dope broadcast. And outside of that, I'm still a hip hop artist from Harlem. I got a couple projects out. I just been dropping music. I started recently. I was just dropping music every week, and I got to like week 10, and I'm not gonna lie, the trajectory of my career has kind of like changed from week 1 to week 10. But I mean, I've been doing stuff. I'm on plenty of platforms. I'm on Drink Champs with my pops. Um, Funk Flex freestyles. I've been on the radio. Um, I've done. I just did a freestyle on this place called Punchline Academy. I have tons of content out that everyone could go check out.
Yeah.
And I have a website, coolgmems.com. So I'm constantly putting new stuff out. Every week I'm trying to make sure I provide my fans and followers and listeners and supporters and something, So I just performed at Sony Hall um, with the Jungle Brothers. They're a group representative of the native tongues. They come from the culture of like De La Soul and Tribe Called Quest and Queen Latifah. And
Oh,
I had a really nice performance with them, and that was dope. I love coming on stage for them and kind of paying homage to the legends that have kind of paved the way for, not even kind of, that have paved the way for artists like me. So yeah, I got tons of stuff out. I've been dropping videos. I'm in the studio right now as we speak, working on music. Which is probably why my phone's going off a lot. But
oh, okay.
yeah, I'm forever working. I got a lot coming out, and I have a lot in store. So please tap in for anybody who's interested, and tune
Yeah.
in.
Yeah, I actually seen your video, a nice video.
Thank you. I appreciate
Yeah.
that. That means the world to me. It
Yeah. So
does.
I'm gonna make sure that I share it in
Yeah,
out
I followed you
in the
back
thing.
too. I seen your follow on the gram. I followed you back too.
Oh, okay.
Thank
Sounds like you were doing good. Yeah, Susan, he is. Yep.
you, Susan.
Yeah, I actually watched your video. I was like, oh, okay. I'm really
Thank you.
impressed. And I
Yeah,
see
it's
you
really
got a
putting
lot of
some.
followers.
Pretty good. I'm doing pretty good on social media.
Yeah.
It's that stuff is not real to me though. It's
Mhm.
more the people that I get to see and touch and feel, and it means more to me to have people around me that keep my mind focused forward.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because truly, every day I come across somebody that I didn't even expect. Even if it's one person, it's always at least one person a day. If I go outside where someone's like, "Yo, I heard this. Yo, I like this. Yo, you know what I mean? My little brother like this. Yo, my daughter made a video, a TikTok to this." Or I see you working. I come across a lot of artists in my community that say I inspire them, and that say I make them work harder, and I show them kind of how to. When they thought they was working hard, they get around me and they want to work even
Work
harder.
hard.
You know what I mean? So I really appreciate having that effect, and to me that's the highest level of success for me. You know what I mean? Being an industry kid, being to be around famous people don't really excite me as much as affecting those that are around me and kind of being more of a sign of unity and
Support.
growth for everyone.
Yeah.
I take on that role. I'm fearless in that role, and I'll take what comes with that. Um,
That's good.
and that's really just been my purpose. I've just really been in my purpose, and I think that is allowing the light, God to kind of put me in the right spot for God to kind of start shining His light on me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So not questioning, just following the purpose, and that's been the truest payoff.
Yeah.
You know, so
Yeah.
I mean, I've been, I know what it's like to be an upcoming artist. I've been a full-fledged artist since like 2019. Fully dependent on music, and it's been, it has its roller coasters, but the payoff, like I said, has just been um, immeasurable, and
Yeah.
it's all worth it. And sometimes it's a scary process. I know a lot of people who are creatives in different ways, and it takes a lot of self-investment, and
Yeah.
then it takes a lot of like,
Yeah.
I don't want to call it patience, but it just takes a lot of growth, and understanding how to
Mhm.
be prepared for where you're headed. You know what I mean? Because none of us are really headed in the same exact spot. It all looks the same when it's on TV and when the lights is on and you're on stage, but none of us are really in the same exact spot or space. You know what I mean? So it's really about preparation for your space in what we call success, or whatever you deem as successful.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's all. I just learning how to be prepared for the space that I'm heading in. And
Yeah.
the
And
way
you
I'm gonna do
walking in
it,
God's purpose, and you walking in
exactly
your purpose that God had for you.
right.
Hmm.
And what I'm gonna do is use it to make somebody else's walk a little shorter. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? If I had to walk 2 miles, maybe I'll give you some information I walked into a brick wall on mile and a half, block 25 or something. I walked into a brick wall. Don't make that left. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? They keep, stay straight. You might get past two
Mhm.
more blocks faster. You
Mhm.
know.
Just keep positive people
Yes.
with you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Same
Thank you.
goals around. Oh,
Right.
yep. Yep. You're absolutely right. Yep, and that is so good that you walking in your purpose, and you know what it is that you supposed to be doing, and you pull, and you not only are you just you walking in your path, but you're pulling along people that to help, you're helping somebody else with just, even if you just say give them a word or something,
Hmm.
you feel you helping somebody out and you just don't realize it.
Yeah.
You may not.
Most of the time it's intentional. You know. Most of the
Mhm.
time I try to do as much as I can in the moment that is available to me. You know what I mean? I don't try to overexert myself because then you're doing more than you're supposed to, right? And then the expectation becomes that that's what you can always do. I just try to always do enough to make sure um, my people know that I'm there for them, and you know, I don't really hold no secrets to my process or my journey. If any of it inspires you, I'm willing to. You know, if a lot of this information is free, and people make you pay for free information, even down to school. I mean, no offense to anybody who goes. I went to school. I went to college. You know what I mean? But a lot of that. I was a business major. A lot of
Mhm.
the TED talks that I had to write about was right on YouTube, and I could have just had to be more resourceful, and I could have learned that information. You know, I studied a lot of, you know, if you're a doctor or something, if you're going to be a doctor or you're going to do a different type of study, I do encourage school. But, you know, for someone like me, I was a business major and I just wanted to own a business and run a business. And when I understood I didn't need a degree for it, I realized how much I was being hustled. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? That's when it dawned on me. You know what I mean? Like, oh, wait a minute. You know what I mean? The person who invented college don't have a college degree. You know what I
No.
mean? Like, I mean, you can look it up for those people that don't know. I mean, they might have it now. I'm sure they probably have it now, but I mean, you know, a lot of that stuff is weird. I got tired of studying billionaires that dropped out of college to become billionaires and stuff like that. I'm doing here.
Yep.
I am doing essays, paying $30,000
Mhm.
a year to learn about people that made billions of dollars. It was a little weird for me. That was a
Yeah.
weird space for me. But I mean, I do appreciate college because I think the experience. I think I wish. Let me say this too for any kids that ever watch this. Like, college is still one of the greatest, most unique experiences that you can have when you kind of get out and away from your nest of being with your parents and stuff like that. What it what I wish when in my era of life or from my upbringing, I wish college was kind of pitched to me more as like an experience, like an experience of luxury. You know, we like I'm an era of people. We like fashion and stuff like that. We like, you know, people see this like you know, see fly stuff and they like it. And college was really more than just going to school. It was a lot about the type of people you're going to be around. Those relationships with those people might last into an opportunity later on in your life for real. Um, you know, the climate, the weather, the prestige behind it, the type of opportunities you can get from it. The You know, I was a person that was a basketball player, so I was trying to go to any school that was wanted to spend money on me to be there.
Right.
But I kind of look back at it and wish I went to school for its entire ex- offer of experience. Everything was just so much about grades and basketball, and then when you get to college and realize it's so much more. You know what I mean? Some of us, I've even seen kids crash. You know what I mean? They got to college and turned into the worst of themselves because they weren't prepared. They didn't know what to. And I've seen some people become the best and thrive. So I do think college is great. I just wish it was kind of pitched a little different than just. And it's no offense to education. I'm not against education by no shape form. I don't want. I know these are interviews and people trying to turn things into
Okay.
the wrong stuff. I'm not
Yeah.
into
Mhm.
just. I'm not a fan of school. School. I've worked for schools. You know what I mean. I know. Like I think there's a little bit more to education than the school system offers. But
Yeah.
you know, so that's really my gripe. If you could tell that I have some gripe, it's just you know I'm not a fan of being graded on a history that only you can control, that I'm exposed to. You know what I mean? Like we get kind of one type of history. You know what I mean? We all learn about Christopher Columbus. We all learn about the same types of things. And why are we just grading me on this information? What if I'm an A student in something else that we're just not exploring? You know
Right.
what I mean? Maybe this history that I have to study might not connect to a school full of students in Harlem. You know what I mean? Like where are these learning and seeing themselves in this information? And sometimes I feel like we can grade our students in other ways than the standardized ways that has been set forward before college.
Everything, yeah, because
So
everything isn't always about the books,
say it
you know.
again.
Everything isn't always about the books.
Right.
You get educated in other ways. Even when you were reared up in your family structure,
Hmm.
those were lessons. Those were life
Exactly.
things that we went, that we, went through that path on.
Right.
So when you go away to college and things, yes, it's an experience, but we have both. You have the real life, and then you have something that someone has written that want to tell you what you or should not do. But
Yes.
when you have that passion, and I think that's where you step in, you have that passion. God gives all of us gifts,
Hmm.
you know? And so you didn't have to go to school to learn that gift. That's
Hmm.
something that's in you.
Right.
So what's in you, and then that's where you show your light, and that's how they see that, and they will gravitate to that. So I understand what you're saying.
I
It's not
appreciate it.
always about, education comes in so many forms.
Yeah.
Yes. That's my gripe with the term school. You know what I mean? It's just kind of like school kind of to me is about teaching you the discipline of using your resources,
Right.
finding information,
Hmm.
you know what I mean, organizing information, you
Right.
know what I mean, prioritizing your learning, you know what I mean? And then a certain
Hmm.
for some people some kids they get it and they don't need the discipline of school. They're already self-interested in seeking information. And
Yeah.
I think that there has to be a more flexible gauge of people's intellect. I think,
Yeah.
it's kind of, because even like you said, it's not about books, but let's just keep it in the books. Well, who approves these books? You know
Mhm.
what
Oh
I
yeah.
mean?
But you have
Let's
some that even have the books, but everybody can't be taught on the same level straight
No.
across the board.
Yeah,
No.
straight across the board. That's why it's kind of like, well, if I even go down to the books and where the books, who approves these textbooks, where the textbooks originate from, it it would create more plot, and it would even we have to ask more questions. You know what I mean? And why are these textbooks the standard of education and not those textbooks?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
Yeah.
it could get tricky if I start going down that hole, and I
Yeah.
don't,
No.
I mean,
But we
so
understand. We
Yeah.
understand fully. Yeah.
Yeah. Because going to back to school, going to college is not for everybody. Everybody is not meant to go to college, because some people they do better without going to college. I
yeah.
mean, I'm not saying that don't go, but I'm just saying that they're just like you said,
Hmm.
it's not for everybody
It's
though.
not for everybody, but that's why I'm like, but however, if you pitch it as an experience, then maybe it is because it's kind of
Right.
Mm.
like, okay, I get to see what it's like to live without my parents. I get to see what it's like to be in this
Exactly.
climate. I get to see what my social skills are like. I get to see what my
Mhm.
habitual skills are like. My
Mhm.
Survival.
ability to provide my survival skills.
Hmm.
My organization skills. My
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Can I survive? Can I hold myself down? And then maybe can I go into the real world and really rent and or own and get my own space and go from the nest? I do think there are necessities in it, but it's just not pitched in a way or in a form that I think is still suitable to today's and what the future holds.
Yeah.
But
You
that's
said
my
it. It's
yes. It's
about
about
your
your mindset,
mindset. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
It's completely about your mindset.
Yeah. That is so true.
Yeah.
Yeah. That powerful.
Thank you,
Yeah.
ladies, for letting me
Hmm.
yap about my philosophies.
Oh, no problem. If it was one thing that you would want to tell somebody that wants to get into the industry, what would be that one thing that you would want to tell them to do to help themselves get through it, and how you know what to look for or whatever the case may be.
I would tell them to treat their music like a business,
Hmm.
start a business, establish yourself as a business, and to truly just stay consistent. The truest, the best results come when you stay consistent, when you stay on a path of consistency. When you jump in and out, it's like jump rope. Like you can't really. I never really even seen nobody, a woman. I seen girls jump rope, right? I seen guys do it sometimes. I never really seen guys jump rope. I seen girls jump rope. I never seen a girl jump rope, jump out, and jump rope back like double dutch.
Hmm.
Jump out, jump in a double dutch, jump
Yeah.
out the double dutch joint, and then jump back in and jump back. Nah, they normally stay consistent and they start dancing and doing all the footwork, right? Because it's a
Yeah.
consistency. The consistency is impressive. Being able to do it and not have to stop. When you try to jump in and jump out and jump in, you're gonna mess up your count. The rope gonna hit you. It's a lot of things is gonna happen when you jump in and jump out. You give too
Right.
much time for things to happen. And once you start that double dutch and that rope start, just keep going. Just create consistency with your process. Even it don't gotta be every day or every week. If you start up every week and think slower, make it every month. But make sure it's consistent. You know what I mean? Make it every month, and or make sure then if it slow down again, make it sometimes make it something that where people don't forget about you. You know what I mean? Or where people don't lose sight of what you're doing. Be consistent so you can see true results. That's the only thing that I can truly and realistically say if I had to keep it short. But the jump rope, I was terrible. I mean, you know what I mean, though. You can't stop and go. You know what I mean? You stop and go, you got to do the count over, right? If you jump rope
Right.
and you stop, you start over. You don't kind of start from that number. You know what I mean? It's about how many you do straight. And I just kind of keep that mindset. Um, but yeah, believe in yourself. Believe in yourself.
Mhm.
Nobody's opinion is the ultimate opinion. You feel
Yeah.
me? So, and believe in God.
Oh yeah. God,
Amen.
God first.
God first.
And stay
God
consistent.
first. Yes.
Yeah.
However you may understand God. I know this is a big world. However you understand God too. Like I'm not. I have my God, and I know. I believe in my God and my God only. But the realistic point of view is that everybody doesn't have to necessarily believe in the God I believe in. So whatever your God is, however you live your life, find your inner self, and believe that. Talk to that. Speak to that inner being that you have and that inner soul that you have, and let that be your guidance. And
Yeah.
truly, let that be your guidance. And
Mm.
I know that's what I'm gonna let be mine. So
Okay. Well, we appreciate you coming on our platform today.
thank you so
And
much
for
for
those
having
of
me.
you guys that want to follow Cool G Mims, his information is in the comments so that you can follow him on Instagram. Very deep brother. Video is on point. He got some really dope music out. So make sure you guys go check him out. Follow him on Instagram. Yeah.
Thank you so much. I
Hmm.
Very
appreciate you, Laura,
inspirational
Michelle.
and very encouraging. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, say it again.
I say very inspiring, very educational, and thank you.
Thank you so much. Look forward to get coming up here again one day soon and having
Okay.
some more conversation with you. Feel free.
Oh,
Would love to
sure.
come back. Okay.
All right. You have a
Most
good
definitely.
evening, okay? And
You
thank
too.
you.
Thank you.
All right.
Bless.
Bye bye. God's good. All
Mm.
right. Thank you guys for tuning in to Inspirational Talks with Laura Simmons and friends. I want to thank my special co-host today, Michelle Hood, who came in and I know she worked some long hours, but she came through for me, and I truly appreciate you, sis.
Oh, wow. I thank you for having me. I appreciate it. This is a
Yeah.
good experience. I thank you.
Yeah. All right, guys.
All
So
right.
we will see you next Tuesday, guys, at 6:15 p.m. Central Standard Time. And we love you guys. Enjoy your weekend. And good night, everybody. All right.